Ezra's great Bible class in Jerusalem. Nehemiah 8th chapter 1 to 13th chapter, 31st verse. When the wall of Jerusalem was finished, Nehemiah called together all the Jews from the villages and cities in the land to meet in Jerusalem. They met a great company with their wives and children in an open place before the temple. Ezra, the good priest and scribe, who had wrought so great a work in bringing together and writing the books of the Old Testament, was in the city at that time. They asked Ezra to bring the book and to read the law of YHWH to the people. He came, carrying with him the great rolls upon which the law was written, and he stood up on a pulpit which they had built where all the people could see him. And with Ezra were men whom he had taught in the law, so that they could teach it to others. When Ezra stood up in the pulpit above the heads of the people and unrolled the scroll, all the people who had been sitting upon the ground rose up, while Ezra gave thanks to YHWH, who had given to them his law. Then the people said, Amen, with a loud voice, and they bowed until their heads touched the ground and worshipped. Then Ezra began to read in the book aloud so that as many as possible could hear. But as the people did not all understand the old Hebrew tongue in which the book was written, men were chosen to stand by Ezra. And as he read each sentence, these men explained it to the people, while all the people stood listening, and children and everybody. So as Ezra read, these men told its meaning, so that the people could understand the word of YHWH. Many of the people had never heard Yah's law read before, and they wept as they listened to it. But Nehemiah, who was there as the ruler, said to them, This day is holy to YHWH. Do not mourn nor weep, but rather be glad and eat and drink and send gifts of food to those who are in need. For you are strong in YHWH and should be joyful. And the Levites quieted the people, saying, Hold your peace, for the day is holy. Do not weep, but be glad in YHWH. And all the people went home to feast and to be glad, because they could hear and understand the words of Yah's law. That's God's law. After this, another meeting was held, and the people confessed their sins before YHWH and the sins of their fathers, and forsaking Father's law, and in not doing his will. They wouldn't do his will. And all the people made a solemn promise that they would keep Yah's law and would do his will, that they would be Yah's people and no more give their sons to marry women who did not worship Yahuwah, that they would keep holy Father's Day, the Sabbath is Father's Day, the Sabbath. And they would give to Yahuwah's house for all the offerings. And they wrote the promise on a roll, and all the princes and rulers and priests signed it and placed their seals upon it. Nehemiah had now finished the work for which he had made the long journey to Jerusalem. He went back to Shushan and stood once more in his place, pouring the wine at the king's table. But after some years he came again to Jerusalem. He found that not all the people had fulfilled their promises to serve Father, and especially that the Sabbath day was not kept as it should be. People were treading wine presses and bringing into the city loads of grain and selling wine and grapes and figs on the Sabbath day. That is Father's Day. They should not do this. And men from the city of Tyre, beside the great sea, who were not worshippers of Yahuwah, brought in fish and sold them on Father's Sabbath. You're not supposed to sell and buy on his Sabbath. When Nehemiah saw all these evils, he was greatly displeased and said to the rulers of the city, Why do you allow these evil things to be done and the Sabbath day to be broken? It is our Father's Sabbath day. It's Yahuwah's Sabbath day. Why? Why are you allowing the Sabbath day to be broken? Were not these the very things that made Yahuwah angry with our fathers, so that he let this city be destroyed? Will you bring Yahuwah's anger up on us again by doing such things on Yahuwah's holy day? On our Father's holy day? Avinu Melchanu, our Father, our King's holy day? Then Nehemiah gave orders that before the sun set on the evening, before the Sabbath, the gates of the city should be shut and not opened until the morning after the Sabbath was over. The men came with their things to be sold and waited outside for the gates to be opened. Nehemiah looked over the wall and saw them and said to them, What are you doing here? If you come here again on the Sabbath, I will put you in prison. Then they went away and came no more upon the holy day. By such strong acts as these, Nehemiah led the people to a more faithful service of Yahuwah. And after this, Jerusalem grew large and strong and was full of people. Because Father promised if you delight in the Sabbath, he will bless you and cause you to ride upon the high places. Jews, Hebrews from other lands began to come to live in the land until it was once more filled with cities and towns, and the hills all over the land were covered with vineyards and olive yards, and the plains were waving with fields of grain. A little after the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, Malachi arose as the last of the prophets of the Old Testament, and he said, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and Yahuwah shall suddenly come to his temple. Behold, he cometh, saith Yahuwah. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great day of Yahuwah shall come, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. And with these words, the Old Testament ends. And this ends Ezra's great Bible class in Jerusalem as he taught the Hebrew people who were children of Israel, called Israelites. Be blessed for hearing this. Be blessed and tell your mommy and daddy and brothers and sisters that little children are getting the understanding of the Sabbath day. So we are blessed. Mommy and daddy blessed, and you are blessed. Shalom.